Hello, and thank you for once again joining us on our journey towards a simpler, more sustainable life. And today we're going to talk about something that consumes a particularly large amount of our time and our energy, and something that's very rewarding because it's one activity that actually has 7 benefits, and that's a wonderful definition of synergy. Usually that's defined as 1 plus 1 equals 3. And this is really a case where 1 equals 7 benefits. And what I'm talking about is forest management. We have about 10 acres of forest on our property, and it is close to a full-time job for about 4 or 5 months of the year. And we do it for lots of different reasons. And I'm here to explain to you what those 7 benefits are and why we spend so much time and energy focusing on forest management. Where we live, the #1 natural danger is wildfire. And it can get pretty scary, and we've had a couple of them get pretty close. And there's something called FireWise, which is a program which explains and helps us do a good job of reducing the risk of wildfire on our own property, and particularly around our home. And we engage in that project an awful lot. And there's a number of different things that we do to reduce the risk of wildfire. One is to reduce the lower branches on the trunks of trees. This is really important to prevent what they call laddering, the fire climbing the trees and moving from one tree to the next. Removing dead branches from trees to the extent that we can reach them. And taking trees themselves that are too close or too ill or too dead and removing them as well. And all of these things and more help us to reduce the chance of wildfire. That's called firewising. The next is just for the health of the forest. Many of the things we do to reduce wildfire also just improve the health of the forest. The forest tends to grow very dense with trees way too close to one another. They then end up competing for sunlight in particular, and they grow taller and taller, and sometimes they'll be up to 100 feet tall, and only the last 15-20 feet of the trunk has branches that are alive, and those branches are trying very hard to absorb enough of the sun to nourish the rest of the tree. And the result is you end up with a lot of dead branches down lower and a very unhealthy tree. You also run the risk of infestation from tree to tree. There are some insects that do a horrible job of ruining a tree and causing the tree to become ill and even die. And the closer they are, the more that can happen. We also heat our home. One of the 2 main sources of heat that we have is the sun. And if we let the trees on the south side of our home get too tall, then we're not getting that solar benefit, and we end up burning more wood, which is our second source of heat. So we really want to keep that solarization maximized. It really is a good and sustainable and environmentally sound way of heating our home. But as I mentioned, we do also heat with wood. So one of the things we do with the trees that we take out, whether it be for solarization or for firewising or for forest health, is we use it for firewood. And then also lumber. We take some of those logs that are particularly appropriate, and we use them with a small lumber mill that we have, and we make a large percentage of our own lumber as well. A lot of the things that we take out of our forest, particularly branches, but also small trees, they're really of no use in terms of lumber or firewood. So what we use those for is wood chips. Our fire district here has a great program where they will take your piles of branches and small trees and turn them into wood chips for free. And we take advantage of that. And wood chips are a pretty useful commodity. In previous videos, we have shown that we have a food forest, and the ground in the food forest is covered with a very thick layer of wood chips, and that's where we get the wood chips from. We also use them for paths and also roads on our property, roads that we use to take our tractor on or to walk on. And some times of the year that path can get pretty muddy, and it's nice having a nice layer of wood chips that allows the water to drain down and to keep the tractor a little bit safer and our feet a little bit cleaner. And then lastly, we've got some amazing views around here. And as much as we like to look at the trees, we also like to look at the waterfalls and the mountains. And if we leave the trees alone, eventually they would block our view as well. So again, we have one action, which is forest management, and we have 7 benefits, real synergistic situation. We have fire-wise to reduce the risk of wildfire. We're improving our forest health. We're improving the solarization of the house. We're generating firewood to use in the winter. We generate a lot of our own lumber. We have wood chips that we use in several different ways, and we improve our view. So if you have a forest on your property, you probably spend a lot of time as well, and it is an activity that really reaps a lot of rewards. I hope that your journey towards a simpler, more sustainable life is going well, and please let us know if there's something that you want to hear or if you have any comments on what we've said here. We'd appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe to our videos on this YouTube channel. Thank you very much.